Hello everybody and welcome to an update I have on where I'm at with everything, and I also include Pneuma Manor, the Skyrim bookstore special edition update, and I have to mention it, Black Lives Matter, doing our part, what we can do. I'm disabling the comments on this video because I just don't want to hear it on this. This is something we gotta do. So let's go with the general update first. So my modding environment, I'm on my old computer. Some of you probably have seen it on social media platforms. I have both Skyrim Special Edition creation kits installed. I'm only doing this video so I can push out this information. I wanted to make this episode, but I'm down modding wise until my air conditioner is replaced in this apartment. Hopefully it's within the next week or two. I have some temporary stuff in here, but my development machine is such a heater, so to speak, so I'm going to keep it offline until I have those replaced. Alright, so are there any new projects? I did start some preliminary work on something I'm loosely calling Dimensional Manor right now. It's another house mod. I came up with this idea when we were really early in COVID-19 and to try to tackle some of the implications with social distancing and making sure people did their part. I only mapped out a little bit of a layout for like a first floor, no furniture or anything, so the progress is small. I've placed that on hold, however, since 2020 just keeps giving us more, and that's all in the new department. So, elephant in the room. Let's go with Pneuma Manor. So I'm still working on the adoption issue. I'm making a reverse engineering document. If you've been following some of the previous episodes, before I had my air condition issue, I was getting back into it. It's currently 130 pages. There's more to go because I'm mapping out all of the dialogue trees and everything, so I can map one-to-one with what Bethesda has for their vanilla content versus what I have for my house mod. So, items still planned. So there is a feature that I haven't really unveiled yet. Basically, Pneuma Manor, there's a whole lot of like necromancy stuff, and you get to see a lot of the alternate universe like in book form. I wanted to give an audio form attached to that to give more information on this alternate universe. So something I'm calling soul scrying storage devices, and it'll be from random parts of time from these alternate universe. And it will reference some of the books that I have added in the game currently. I plan to do many different ones of these. Something I've been doing with this lore material on the alternate universe, I've been deciding what type of events, the type of society that's there. So you will see some of these events come up, you will see some of those viewpoints come up. You know that I made the Social Conscience series, and some of those ideas are being introduced through these more complicated books or vocals, and I plan to keep doing that in any future work that I create and release. Next part, I have a Dwemer Sphere follower that I made really early on. I outlined some of the stuff. I want to redo some of that. I'm doing the voice work for all of that, so that will be interesting to see in the end. Doneric Ward is the carekeeper of the new area, and I need to finish up his lines. I need to finish up just some of the cursory features I was planning as well for his character. And of course there's going to be more background books that will be coming around in the game. There's some other features that I'm going to finish up and tweak. So release timeline. I've been trying at this point. Some of you probably have guessed, I've been burned out. Work, current events for definitely the last 4 years. So I'm not as productive as I used to be on modding projects. I'm just going to commit to saying when it's done. Because I'm having an open-ended thing like that, I am not opening the door for you to convert what I have released already, because that's not the final piece. So let's go to Skyrim Bookstore Special Edition. So the current progress, I'm working on the interior for the Castle Volk location, part of the Dawnguard content if you're wondering. I've already done the Fort Dawnguard location. This is the last one regarding the Dawnguard content. So what are the remaining items? I need to add the Raven Rock location. I need to add the Winterhold location. I plan to add new books to the stores and game for you to find randomly. These books, some of them will go into some of the topics that I want to have in this in my mods now, because it's important to be conscious about stuff that you're adding in content. I'm not as simple, and I just need to use my voice more, so you'll see more books like that just throughout my stuff. So next stop, because this is a mod that's going on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, I need to do some stuff specifically for the Xbox One PC because they can support a lot more. Create store signs, create a quest line. There's going to be a book donation system. Sorry, I don't have that on here. That I'm going to be implementing. If you want to have a book that you want to see from, let's say, Pneuma Manor, you picked up one of those books and you want it to start appearing in the stores, you could give it to them or sell it, quote unquote, for a certain value, and you will start seeing copies of it being sold at various locations. I don't have any work of that so far because my current progress is on the PlayStation 4 version. Release timeline. Again, when it's finished. Because of how much I have in Pneuma Manor, some of the stuff I've already built up in that, current events, I want to get that one finished now. It's been a long time. I've been working on that. I want to say 8-9 years. Probably been longer than that. So I'm going to focus on Pneuma Manor. Might change depending on if I need to take a break to focus on Skyrim Bookstore's Special Edition version. We'll see though. Alright, and then probably the beefy topic that I want to go into. Black Lives Matter. So one of the things I've seen from Elianora is just bringing up the political part of it. This is not a political issue. Members of the community are out there suffering from injustices that are either baked into the institutions, unwritten injustices that are around. Allies like myself can't be silent to their suffering at the moment, and you're most likely seeing fellow gamers, modders, creators, or just people you know that are from the black community that are affected by this injustice. It doesn't have to be isolated to the black community, but that's the community that's suffering the most currently. So, what are some things you can do? I've compiled this list on here, going with a gamer focused or general advice focused list. This is not the end all be all. And I'm not linking in this particular video resources for like making donations and things like that to the organizations doing the work. They are out there. One of the mods I will be showing in a moment that's been created as advocacy will have some of those links. You should listen to what's part of your local community, though, definitely. So, I'm going to start from the beginning. Contribute to your community in some way. You could just, using your voice is even helpful. Writing to your local officials, writing a letter to the editor is something that's come up in my local area. Is something that it still exists. You can still do that. Social media as a no-brainer is a way to have your voice pushed out there if you're on social media platforms such as this. So here's another big one. COVID has been very brutal economically for a lot of people, black businesses especially, because many of them have been pushed out from any of the economic stimulus that's been created. So make conscious choices of purchasing from black businesses during this time when you can, as it makes sense. I know we're in a pandemic, so some of those choices you just will have to evaluate it. So next, elevating voices in your community, especially those who are creating here in the gaming community, because there are modders, there's game developers, there's so many people that are out there. They're creatives, but they're not given the spotlight like some of the other prominent ones that you probably are used to following for modding or gaming. If you have a mod needing outside collaboration, consider if anybody in the black community, black voices, can contribute to the mod. Just a spur of the moment thought I had, perhaps to tie this with your community, working with local colleges / schools for artists, scripters, voice talent, etc. And then again, add your voice as an ally is always something that's viable. Something I don't have listed on here. There's a time when we need to shut up and listen to them as well. So if there's something that they want us to do, we gotta listen to them. And again, this is not a master list. Consider what your particular community needs. Alright, so the mod that I have showcased here, Elianora and Dr. Phibbs have released an awareness mod containing banners, clothing that you can use for screenshots within Fallout 4. Black Lives Matter. You've probably seen this from the protests. No justice, no peace. Very understandable given the injustice, at least here in the United States. Links and suggestions for actions that can be taken are going to be in the mod's description, whether you get it from Nexus or Bethesda.net. I'm pushing the NexusMods link for anybody that's a PC user, because any donations to this mod will be used for donations to Black Lives Matter organizations. So that means if you don't have the money, for sure, you can download this mod and it will be used for future donation, because it generates on NexusMods donation points, and those will go into the modders' wallets, and this modder has committed to using mod downloads for these donations at this time. And this mod, for anybody that's a console gamer, it is available on Xbox One via Bethesda.net. Alright, and then I want to go over some examples from what we've said a moment ago of some of the things that I have done, or some of the cool things I have found, either through listening or just general searches that I've made. So Seek VR. Yes, there are tech companies that are black owned. This one in particular, black woman, Mary Spio, is a CEO, founder, engineer of the headsets and the VR headset. And the business board, if you ever looked at their about information, it's a very diverse board. A lot of voices that you wouldn't normally see in these tech spaces are there making great decisions. So the VR headset is designed for your iPhone or Android phones capable of VR. I have a Samsung Galaxy. I'm using it. In the bottom right hand corner you might see a picture of the headset. There's little tabs in there that just hold your phone. It's really simple, elegant design, and it makes sure your buttons aren't being pressed, and you have a great experience on it. The 4D headphones, I'm wearing them right now as I'm going through this. Phenomenal sound through just the earmuff piece alone. You have a vibration dial to where you can boost the vibration for the bass and it's in the background. Haptic touch for the volume control and song selection if you're listening to music at the time. That Seek gold band that you see on the gold pair that I bought, that actually is used for part of the vibration piece to give you that 4D effect for the sound. So it's really phenomenally cool on there. The microphones that come with it, if you are in need of a microphone, they're there. That's something that I'm not using currently because I have other microphone equipment here, but the headphones themselves are phenomenal. And I've been using for both the Seek VR app and the VR headset for their music concerts and live events that they have through it in VR. You can also use the various apps on Steam and other platforms to push your PC VR to your smartphone, and that will still work while using this headset. I highly recommend it. Go to seek.com to support them. Definitely if you're looking for a new pair of headphones right now, or if you're looking for a headset that's cheaper than what's out there if you're getting a PC VR headset. And then support crowdfunding for black creatives out there. Kickstarters, Indiegogo. The one I found recently that's really cool is Protodroid Delta. He's a father and game developer out of the California area. He's creating a solarpunk 3D action platformer in the line of Mega Man. Delta is the android that you're going to be playing as in the game, and she is a black woman hero protagonist. There's a diverse cast of characters, as you can see from the sample screenshot. The voices behind them also equally as much. And currently the estimate for when this will be available on PC or Switch will be some point in 2021. If you missed the Kickstarter, the Indiegogo campaign is linked here on this tile page. If you want to go and support this work, definitely looks like it's going to be a really cool, awesome game. So I encourage people to support them. And then this is something I've been doing personally. I've been following black media more because I just was simply not aware of these spaces before, and I'm using this to help inform myself better things are going on. So Roland Martin Unfiltered here in the US. It's a daily digital show, Monday through Friday. Unfiltered means most language goes on the show. So if you're worried about language, obviously keep that in mind. But there's great expert panelists that appear in each episode. You also have interviews with congressmen and women. You have mayors that have come on there, governors. You've had like infectious disease experts. So it's a wide variety of people. Most of the time from the black community. You're hearing their voices, their perspectives on the various issues that are being discussed in the episode. And I have a link here on page if you're interested in following or watching an episode of Roland Martin Unfiltered. He's also pushing the Seek VR. I encourage people to support Seek VR because they're also a partner with Roland Martin Unfiltered. Also, just stepping back for a moment on the overarching theme, you will become more informed seeing these perspectives and figures in prominent roles. I'm sure, especially if you're in a really small town, you probably don't see a lot of these types of role models from black community, black women scientists, engineers, politicians, as you are in perhaps larger community. You also find voices in the process that represent what is going... Oh, excuse me. Sorry, it's probably the heat or something going on. Let me start over here. You find voices within your community to follow that are from the black community. Because, I mean, like in my small town, there's somebody running for mayor. He's also does news interviews with the equipment he has. That way, some things are not shown in, like, the local news station he's covering at the time. And, I mean, that's not the end-all, be-all for advocacy and doing your part on helping your community out. Like myself, I found out who my local officials are. I'm getting more involved locally in that way, just as possible. I know this will be hard for people that live in very hostile ideology areas, but we can all do our part in some way. Alright. That is it for this episode. I will see everybody whenever I'm in a safer spot to give an update once I have some more progress. As a final thought here, Black Lives Matter. We gotta go through and help our communities and address the injustices out there. And if you're offended by anything I've discussed here, I don't want you to follow my content anymore. Yes, I'm somebody who you thought, oh, I'm just a normal modder out there. No, this is something that matters. Here we are in 2020 and we're going back in time on a lot of these issues, or these issues are showing up out of hiding to where they're out in the open now and need to be addressed for sure. We need to continue making sure these issues don't get hidden again. That way we can make progress out there. Alright, see ya everybody.